It was 6:47 a.m. when Ethan Caldwell's morning went haywire. His trusty coffee maker, the one that had faithfully brewed his lifeline for years, sputtered and died mid-cycle with a pathetic wheeze. The lights in his cozy Maple Grove home flickered like they were auditioning for a horror flick. His laptop froze on a half-finished project proposal, and the Wi-Fi router let out a sad chirp before going dark. Ethan, a former cybersecurity analyst with a decade of experience fortifying military networks, stared at the chaos and muttered, "Not today." He wasn't a stranger to tech glitches, but this felt personal. He'd built his home into a fortress of redundancy backup batteries, a solar panel hidden behind a shed not because he was paranoid, but because he believed in control, in systems that didn't fail. What he hadn't counted on was the unhinged chaos of the Maple Grove Homeowners Association. Maple Grove, tucked on the outskirts of a sleepy Midwestern town, was the kind of place that screamed postcard perfection. Identical houses with pristine lawns, soft beige siding, and mailboxes that had to be exactly 5 feet tall. No exceptions. Ethan had moved there 6 months ago for a remote tech consulting gig, CRA VYing quiet after years of high-stakes projects. At first, it seemed ideal to ideal. Then he met Linda Harper. Linda, a woman in her late 50s, was the HOA's unofficial dictator. Picture her speed walking in blinding pink leggings, clutching a clipboard like it was the Constitution, her eyes scanning for infractions. She ruled Maple Grove with the intensity of a drill sergeant. Her decrees not quite law, but close enough to make you sweat. Ethan, ever the diplomat, tried to fly under her radar. He paid his dues, trimmed his hedges, kept his music low after 7 p.m. But peace? That was a fantasy. The trouble started when the neighborhood's ancient entry, Gadia Creaky, keypad-operated relic finally gave up. It jammed deliveries, frustrated rideshare drivers, and once trapped a fire truck outside for 15 agonizing minutes. The HOA board, desperate, begged for solutions. Ethan stepped up. He designed a state-of-the-art, solar-powered smart gate system. Encrypted code panels, license plate scanners, emergency overrides of works. It was sleek, secure, and, frankly, a masterpiece. The residents loved it. Linda? Not so much. She hadn't been consulted on the panel's shade of gray. She hadn't approved the cloud-based server she couldn't poke her nose into. To her, Ethan's gate was a personal insult, a crack in her iron grip. She started small petty emails about the panel's reflective glare, complaints about unregulated data streams, even a bizarre claim that it violated an obscure HOA rule about non-standard fixtures. Ethan brushed it off. He'd faced worse than a clipboard-wielding busybody, until the morning his coffee maker died. Stepping onto his porch, Ethan squinted into the pale dawn. Something was off. Across the cul-de-sac, neighbors emerged, frowning at flickering porch lights and stalled garage doors. It wasn't just his house. He jogged over to his neighbor, Mike, who was staring at his dead electric car. "You hit too?" Ethan asked. Mike grunted, "Can't even unlock the charger." "What's going on?" Ethan's mind raced. Could be the gate panel. If someone messed with the backup link, it might have tripped the grid. He headed for the entrance, his gut twisting. His system was bulletproof armored, weather-sealed, password-locked. Or so he thought. As he approached the gate, his heart sank. The code panel was slathered in thick, silver spray paint, dripping like a toddler's art project. A scrawled "Private Community" adorned the screen, complete with a mocking, frowny face. Worse, the paint had gunked up the security lens and emergency toggle. Ethan's blood ran cold. This wasn't random. This was war. He checked the hidden camera he'd tucked in a lamppost nearby. Insurance, not paranoia. Connecting his phone to the feed, he scrubbed to 3:15 a.m. There she was, Linda Harper, decked out in a hoodie like a wannabe street artist, methodically coating the panel with slow, deliberate sprays. She'd even brought a step stool to hit the top edges. At one point, she adjusted her sunglasses at night and muttered about nosy cameras. Ethan's jaw dropped. This wasn't impulsive. It was a calculated strike. Back home, he dug into the system logs. The panel circuits had fried at 3:19 a.m., minutes after Linda's paint job. The paint had seeped into a vent, shorting the hub that controlled the neighborhood's garages, key fobs, and remote locks. The emergency override? Toast. By 8 a.m., Maple Grove was a mess. Residents piled up at the gate, unable to leave for work. A retired couple missed a critical medical appointment. A delivery driver stood baffled, packages in hand. Linda sauntered up at 8:10, sipping a kale smoothie, her voice syrupy with fake concern. "Oh, is the gate broken again?" Ethan spun, his patience gone. "Don't play dumb, Linda. I've got you on camera." Her smirk faltered. "That's ridiculous. I was asleep. Besides, that panel's a privacy violation." Neighbors gasped. Mike barked a laugh. Ethan stepped closer, voice low. "You didn't just vandalize the panel. You crippled the entire block's power system. People are trapped, Linda." Her eyes darted. "Maybe we shouldn't rely on fancy gadgets." A mom named Sarah, her kids screaming in her minivan, snapped, "Tell that to my toddler stuck in the car for an hour." The crowd turned. Someone flashed a phone with Ethan's anonymously posted video, now blowing up online. Linda's face matched her smoothie's hue. As neighbors filmed, her excuses crumbled. Ethan turned to Mike. "Let's rig a manual override. This is going to be a long day." From the crowd, a faint cheer rose. Ethan spent the day playing gatekeeper, manually verifying IDs with a jerry-rigged Raspberry Pi setup. But the real problem wasn't the panel anymore. Strange power glitches plagued the block garages opening on their own, porch lights flashing like SOS signals, a smart oven cranking to 450 degrees Fahrenheit unprompted. The neighborhood's transformer hummed ominously, like a hornet's nest in a tin can. Ethan went door to door, running diagnostics. The culprit? A 93-minute surge cycle triggered by Linda's paint job, which had knocked loose a critical time relay. The system, designed to shut down gracefully during tampering, was misreading the sabotage as a software glitch, frying everything in its attempt to fix itself. Ethan needed backup. He called Rachel Kim, a former colleague who tackled gnarlier cyber puzzles than this. She replied in minutes. "This is wild. I'm in." Rachel rolled up that afternoon, her backpack brimming with tech toys. She had the lamppost camera and grinned. "This caught the clipboard queen." "Yup," Ethan said. She even checked for witnesses, like paint fumes wouldn't give her away. They cracked open the gate housing. Rachel whistled. She toasted it. Paint baked onto the board like a bad DIY project. As they worked, Linda appeared, her yappy dog in a garish sweater trailing behind. "Still tinkering with your spy gate?" she called. Ethan didn't look up. "Fixing your artwork, Linda." She edged closer. "Residents are worried about your data collection. Plate tracking, face scans very big, brother." Rachel stood, unimpressed. "You their spokesperson or just the local tinfoil hat?" Linda huffed, muttered about city council complaints, and stormed off, her dog pausing to defile a neighbor's lawn. By dusk, Ethan and Rachel had patched the surges and rewired the power balancer. The gate's lights glowed green, stable at last. But then Ethan's phone pinged. "Unauthorized access, panel 3B. He pulled up the feed. A hooded figure, crowbar in hand, was prying at the panel. The motion sensor caught their profile. Not Linda, her son, Dylan Harper, a 20-something with a trail of failed crypto scams. Ethan's stomach dropped. Is wrecking tech a family tradition? Rachel muttered. The feed cut to Black Dylan had severed a wire, but not before auto-backing up to Ethan's cloud. I'm staying, Rachel said. This is getting good. The next morning, Ethan and Rachel were back at the gate, tools scattered like a crime scene. Dylan's stun had locked the system in passive mode. Leah VYing it brain dead, as Rachel put it. Down the block, garages misfired, security lights strobed. Linda's voice pierced the air before she appeared, flanked by a nervous man clutching a notepad, his HOA assistant pin gleaming. This is Mr. Carter, she declared. He's documenting your illegal modifications. Carter looked like he'd rather be at a root canal. Ethan stayed cool. Carter, your board approved this system. We're repairing deliberate sabotage. Linda sniffed. Sabotage? A little paint isn't a crime. Rachel shot back. That little paint nearly blew the transformer. Sarah, the mom, stormed up, tablet in hand. Linda, your son was caught breaking into the gate last night. Explain that. Linda's smile cracked. Dylan was home. He's not involved. Rachel flashed the video. Dylan, crowbar in hand. Carter stammered, that's someone tampering. Linda went red. He was fixing your faulty system. The growing crowd erupted, phones out, filming her unraveling. At the emergency HOA meeting, Linda sat front and center, her PowerPoint ready to paint Ethan as a surveillance VY lane. Her first slitty a blurry shot of the lamppost camera labeled Spy Cam in Comic Sans drew stifled laughs. Ethan took the floor, projecting crystal-clear footage of Dylan's break-in and data logs pro VY-ing. Linda's paint job caused the chaos. The room went silent. Rachel stood, flashing a badge. I'm Rachel Kim, Department of Infrastructure, Cyber DVY Shaun. This gate isn't just a gate tied to node in a national grid resilience pilot. Linda's sabotage didn't just lock you out, it jeoparded a federally funded program. Linda sputtered, we're lab rats. Rachel's voice was steel. No, you had cutting-edge tech, keeping you safe until you and Dylan trashed it. The board suspended Linda and Dylan from HOA roles. Neighbors unloaded years of grievances, fines for wrong flowers, bans on tacky porch lights. Linda fled, Dylan trailing like a scolded puppy. Ethan and Rachel reset the system that night, the gate humming back to life. Ethan added a twist, a voice greeting, welcome home. Tampering will be reported, and a spray paint can icon with a red X. Linda went pale when she heard it. 3 weeks later, Maple Grove felt lighter. Kids biked freely, Mike's car purred. Linda's house, once her command post, sat dark, weeds choking her roses. A for sale sign appeared, her open house a flop as neighbors heckled. Then Ethan spotted a 2:17 a.m. ping in the logs, a subtle probe of the gate's relay. The lamppost camera caught Linda, hooded and sneaky, trying to crack the panel. The screen flashed, spray paint PRIVY leges revoked. She bolted. By Sunday, her house was empty, her truck vanishing through the gate. That night, Ethan hosted a barbecue, projecting the saga's highlights. Laughter echoed as Sarah gifted him a tech hero mug. The gate pulsed green, Maple Grove at peace until the next spray can maybe. So what do you think? Was Linda a control freak gone rogue? Or did she have a point about tech overreach? Should Ethan have pressed charges? Or was public humiliation enough? And what about Dylan? Was he just following mom's orders? Or is he the real threat? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild neighborhood tales.